If you've ever been stuck in that loop of overthinking, endlessly weighing the pros and cons and still unable to take that next step, you're definitely not alone. And actually, there is a scientific reason as to why this is happening. So, according to a recent research, it's been shown that our brain starts making decisions up to 350 milliseconds before we even consciously become aware of it. So basically, that means the decisions we think we are making already have been made by our unconscious patterns of behavior that have been shaped by the years of conditioning, past experiences, and how our brain has been trained to react to pressure and uncertainty. So the real then question becomes not how do I stop overthinking, but rather how do I make sure that my decisions are not being hijacked by my old habits, by my old emotional reactions. And that's exactly what we're going to be exploring today. If you often tend to overthink, if you avoid tough choices and conversations, if you say yes even when you mean no, or maybe you play safe when intuitively you know that it's time for you to step up, this video might just be exactly what you need. So here's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. When we are faced with a decision, we're not just evaluating the facts, we are literally navigating a web of unconscious programming. Things like fear of repeating past mistakes that left a big mark, especially with an emotional bruise. The pressure to meet expectations or avoid conflicts. The anxiety of being in the unknown, sitting with uncertainty, that voice of self doubt that's constantly telling ourselves that we're not ready or maybe you're not enough. And by the way, this is not the weakness, it's just how the brain is designed to operate. The brain is just doing its job. And the brain's job isn't just respond to what's happening right now, but it's to predict what is likely to happen next and then to prepare you to act accordingly. And it's the function that brain is just simply not equipped to do, but it's always trying. And it does so by constantly scanning our external environment, like what's happening around me, and your internal database, which is a storage of all the past experiences, memory, emotions, programming, patterns, and learned behavior. And here's the really interesting fact is that at the center of this system of that scanning isn't logic, it's emotion. And before your rational brain kicks in, your emotional system is already reacting, it's already scanning. Is this safe? Is this dangerous? Is this going to lead to acceptance or to rejection? Is it going to be pain? Is it going to be pleasure? And it's so fast, it's so automatic, and it's totally unconscious, meaning that you're not even aware of it. You're not even aware. So even if consciously you want to say one thing, your emotional response kicks in and it hijacks your decision. And research shows that up to 95% of our decisions are driven by these unconscious patterns. And that's why the real power in making decisions, in creating life that is aligned with your values, with your goals, does not come from thinking harder. It comes from developing emotional independency, the ability to become aware of those unconscious emotional drivers, understand where they're coming from, what they are telling you, and then choose your response. So when you build this emotional independence, you step out of that automatic decision making program and start leading your emotions rather than being led by them. And there is a big difference. You see, emotions are not just fleeting feelings, they are signals, they are data, they are insights. They are how your brain filters the world, checking what is safe, what is threatening, what's familiar, what is unfamiliar, what is worth pursuing, and what should be avoided at all costs. So, for example, let's say you once failed in an area of public speaking, maybe it was at school, and now your brain stores this as an emotional imprint. So, next time when you speak in a meeting or a boardroom or wherever, the brain may predict familiar pain. a wave of anxiety or self-doubt. And that's why you may start pulling back from opportunities that you really know are right for you. You start avoiding hard conversations you actually need to have. Or maybe you say yes when your whole body is like screaming no, without really understanding why you are doing that. And you are not being irrational. You're certainly not being stupid. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just your brain is trying to keep you safe based on outdated emotional data. And this is why emotional independence is so powerful. And it's not about shutting down or becoming cold or detached or like removed from everyone else's emotions. It's completely the opposite. It's about feeling the emotion, but not being ruled by it. It's about understanding this inner signal, the data, the messages your emotions are carrying. It's about making clear, intentional choices, even in a high pressure situations. Emotional dependence help you to cultivate more energy, to stay calm under pressure, and also start taking align actions that are aligned with your values and with your goals without second guessing yourself. So if you've ever spent hours rewriting a simple email because you're worried how it may be perceived by others, how it will come across, if you ever said yes to a meeting, project, a favor, even when your plate was so full and you were really like, spinning and running around, if you ever snapped at someone and then regretted it instantly, or put maybe a big decision off because you were afraid of making the wrong decision, or maybe you felt like you're constantly busy but really have no control in which direction your life, your career are going. So firstly, know that there's nothing wrong with you. And what is actually happening is that you're just operating from those outdated emotions. You are running on emotional autopilot. And now, if you're still listening, it's just time to take this wheel back. So, how do we actually build this emotional intelligence? How can we do that starting today? Because the truth is, your ability to make clear, confident decisions do not come from thinking, from analyzing, from writing cons and pros list. It comes from being emotionally grounded. And emotional independence gives you the clarity to act from intention and not the impulse or the past memories, conditioning, and programming. So here are some practical steps to help you ditch that overthinking and overanalyzing and start making decisions with confidence and certainty that you deserve. So firstly, step number one, becoming aware of your reactive patterns. So start noticing situation, people, places, events that trigger that emotional reactivity, maybe like they spark anger or jealousy or doubts or insecurities, right? Maybe you get shut down when you've got too much going on, when your calendar is too busy, or maybe you feel anxious when somebody doesn't get back to you, they don't respond to your texts and messages. So become aware, because awareness is the first step. You cannot change anything that you are not aware about. Number two, take ownership, take accountability. And instead of saying they made me feel this way or this thing made me feel this way, acknowledge that this stress is mine and I have the power to choose how do I respond. Because your emotions are not created by others, they are activated by your interpretation to the situation. And these interpretations are based just on your past experiences. And when you take ownership, you take back your power, you take back control and allow yourself to feel it. Feeling is healing. Feeling the discomfort, maybe before the presentation, feeling the anger when your boundaries crossed, feeling that uncertainty, that uncomfortability in your body when you don't know the next step. You see, your emotions are just energy. Emotion literally means energy in motion. And when you feel them, that's when you heal them, you release them. And on the other side of that feeling of the release is much better decision making, because that's where you get your clarity from. And over time, as you practice these three steps, you will see that situations that triggered you in the past, that made you feel angry, resentful, jealous, insecure, they have no control over you anymore. And you now start generating so much more energy. You get access to higher quality thoughts, and the higher quality thoughts lead to much higher quality decisions. So if you want to go deeper into this work, get control of your emotions instead of allowing them to control you, make better decisions, then check out my course, Emotional Intelligence for Effective Leadership. I left the link below this video. And of course, if you want more personal one-on-one support, then my contact details are also below this video. Just remember this one thing: most powerful decisions do not come from doing more, they come from knowing yourself better. And that's what emotional independence is all about. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.